about that something, an issue that we hold deep in our hearts. For me, it's immigration.
For me, it's racism.
Women's rights.
Abortion.
Science denial.
Mass incarceration.
Police reform. For me, it's climate change.
I'm 60 years old. I come from Sweden, and I want you to panic.
We are sitting in the streets instead of sitting at our desks. We're losing our lessons so we can give you one.
Be very harmful to the environment and to the people living there.
We have proven that now is the time for change.
We can hope what we want, but we have to also act.
We really have a problem in our government right now. Nobody's willing to compromise over anything.
If money equals speech, then some people have more speech than others.
If you're going to be voting in the next election, you need to know what campaign finance is.
This generation's approach to making a change is more radical, I would say. Martin Luther King Jr. said, riots is the language of the unheard. So, we haven't been heard in like 400 years.
Waiting for trial can take weeks or sometimes months.
Schools across America once taught constitutional and civic principles as an educational requirement. When youth are given the opportunity and the skills to become informed voters and engaged citizens, they vote. Because democracy must be learned.
Illegal immigration is a crime. It has been at the center of American policy debate for years.
It's no crime. He crossed the border. So what? I don't care.
Only about 10 to 12% of people in New York City jails have been convicted and sentenced.
She was preyed on and sold online by pimps who took advantage of her.
Voting changing an entire nation?
Can't be done.
It has.
An active populace is key to democracy.
So our voices shape our own future by voting.
Oh yeah, we know. Our parties actually tend to do better when less poor people show up.
We have come here to let you know that change is coming, whether you like it or not. The real power belongs to the people.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Catherine Tadji. You've just had a taste of our Democracy 2020 Youth Film Challenge, which gives students a platform to lift their voices on issues that confront them and all of us, especially the vital need for people to vote in the coming elections.
And I'm Dominique Lasseur, and we are the founders of the Civic Life Project, which brings together filmmakers, artists, and educators to help engage young people in our democracy.
If we seem a little nervous, it's because for the last 5 years, we've done these awards live in public venues. But tonight's the first time we are honoring the winners in a live streaming event. So if we have a little glitch here and there, please bear with us and keep the focus where it should be, on these young people, on their intelligence and talent and energy, and how much they obviously care.
And speaking of smart and talented, please let us introduce your host for this evening. Patricia Duff is an activist and organizer who has worked with presidents from Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton to Barack Obama. She is the founder of an organization called The Common Good in New York to bring together major policy leaders from government and authoritative figures from business, media, journalism, and academia to speak candidly on the most important issues of the day.
And Anatola Araba is a visual artist and filmmaker whose work has been recognized by HBO's Inspiration Room and AT&T Awards for new forms of storytelling. She has been featured by the Museum of Modern Art in New York City.
All this while she's still a college student.
Welcome, Anatola Araba and Patricia Duff, as we go to Gotham Studios in New York City.
Thank you, Catherine and Dominique, and welcome everybody, wherever you are. Anatola, wait, you're still a student?
Yes, I am. I study film and television production at NYU. And Patricia, how many presidents did we just name?
Oh my gosh, I think I need a database. But I also think I need a database for to keep track of all the talent that's in this competition this year.
We've had 220 entries, which is even more impressive considering that because of COVID-19, so many schools across the country have shut down, leaving the students without the resources usually available to them.
Well, let us give you an idea of the range of topics they've chosen. From Black Lives Matter to the environment to human trafficking and immigration, really important headline news topics. But all of this work falls into two categories. The first is short documentary films, which have to be under 8 minutes long.
Our other category is presentations for social media, and these have to be under 2 minutes in length. But here the rules are a little different. Everybody has been challenged to focus on just one topic, and that is, drumroll please, voting. In America right now, less than 1/3 of young adults aged 18 to 25 are registered voters. Let's put that another way. 7 out of every 10 of us don't bother to get out there and vote. But then I ask, how many of us want the world to be a better place, to change in some way, or are passionate about an issue? People really, really care how you vote. And if these young filmmakers can get that across to you and get you to register and then take action and get out there and vote, then this challenge has done its job.
And let's hope it has, because there's absolutely nothing more important than the vote. So vote as if your country depends on it, because it does. And get your friends to vote too. Now, this may be obvious, but none of us can do this on our own. And the Civic Life Project, which initiated this competition, is very fortunate to have partnered for this challenge with Justice Aid. Justice Aid is a nonprofit in the civil rights field which promotes justice through the arts and public engagement. We'll have a very special presentation from Justice Aid with their own prize winners later in this program. We're also joined by these co-sponsors: Animoto, Coalesce Creative, Gotham Podcast Studio, Northwest Connecticut Community Foundation, Switchboard, and the Wilmark Group.
We have 17 judges for this competition from a wide range of backgrounds and expertise in the arts, entertainment, and civic involvement, and we are so lucky to have them. There will be a first prize and a second prize winner chosen by the judges. In addition, we will honor a People's Choice winner who has received the most votes from viewers online.
But you know, there's so much talent here. They're really all winners. So we've decided to give you a quick look at all the entries that came in 5th, 4th, and 3rd. Here they are in the documentary category.
If you bumped into him on the street, or he happened to be your waiter for dinner, Tino Santiago would appear to be another ordinary American. And that's what many in Kent, Connecticut thought of him in his 25 years he lived there. Devoted husband and father of 3, as well as somebody many in Kent would consider a true friend. However, early in the morning on February 24th, 2019, after dropping off one of his sons at school, Tino found himself arrested and his life upended, and facing the real possibility of being deported from his established life, leaving behind a family who needed him most.
It's an American dream turned into an American nightmare. It really is.
And it was very painful too for my kids, you know, see me or when they saw me there at court with chains in my arms again and my wrists and my ankles. It was devastating for them. My name is Constantino Santiago. I've been living here in Kent, Connecticut for 22 years. I came from Mexico with my wife Norma. We have 3 kids here in Kent, and we love Kent. It's a beautiful town.
Currently, in America, around 500,000 people are sitting in jail because they can't afford their bail. We're told that we're innocent until proven guilty, but if you're a poor person, that law doesn't apply. Defendants often have to make the decision between paying money they don't have or giving up their freedom. This is the cash bail system. Jails are overflowed with people awaiting trial. While in jail, they are often subject to violent attacks. In some cases, these individuals remain in jail for minor offenses. Waiting for trial can take weeks or sometimes months. As a result, people end up losing their job and custody of their kids. Alaska and New Jersey have gotten rid of a majority cash bail system and started using the algorithms also known as risk assessments to decide whether a defendant should be released pre-trial. The algorithms go by a set of questions that analyzes the person's background. This includes race, then creates a score to determine the likelihood of if they'll commit a crime if released. But recent implications of these risk assessments has proved to be racially biased.
What do you think about the performance of tech company right now as compared to 2016 with respect to social discourse?
It's gone downhill because the burdens have gotten heavier and their approach hasn't evolved as quickly as you'd hope.
In 2019, 3.5 billion people used social media to meet friends, post updates, and read the news. Ironically, though created to connect us, this same technology instead increasingly divides our nation's democratic fabric. So how did we get here? Let's go back in time.
Do you make testimony in this committee that Google is not favoring in its search results one party over another or one candidate over another?
Legal troubles over copyright infringements aren't slowing down Napster. Napster must stop allowing music fans to swap copyrighted material.
Napster allowed for the sharing of music files with 80 million users at its peak. Incredible, unheard of numbers at its time, but its effects were beyond just music.
It was really the first social network. It was how people interacted with each other at that time.
In 2016, Cambridge Analytica collected data to influence the 2016 election from 87 million Facebook users, of which only 270,000 had consented. This time, we're not faced with music piracy, we're faced with personal information piracy.
That essentially what the companies were doing were creating, dossiers on everybody that really detailed about the information about what type of web searches they did, what sites they visited on the internet. I mean, even things that weren't just on the platform itself.
In a 2014 survey, 91% of Americans agreed that consumers are no longer in control of the way their personal information is used and gathered. As the Cambridge Analytica scandal has shown, tech companies have the means and power to influence voters and our democracy.
It's really amazing. Just look at the quality of the clips we just saw. Student work, all of it. The creators of the social media entries have been challenged to make short videos for their favorite social media platforms. These can include animation, dramatization, and more, in addition to documentary elements. Once again, let's have a look at those who place 5th, 4th, and 3rd.
It is September 2019. Student-led climate protests are taking place all over the world. Climate activist Greta Thunberg makes a speech at the United Nations.
You are failing us. But the young people are starting to understand your betrayal.
The betrayal Greta is evoking is the failure of world leaders to keep temperatures below 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels.
The right to vote is fundamental in our democracy. It allows us to choose who represents us and how our tax dollars are spent. That's why it's so important that voting is free and easily accessible to all eligible voters. Unfortunately, often elected officials put obstacles and hurdles in the way to make it as difficult as possible for some people to vote. This is called voter suppression, and it's a big problem for millions of people. One form of voter suppression is limiting polling locations. Limiting polling sites leads to longer lines, and longer lines leads to longer wait times, which makes people less likely to want to vote. One way to combat voter suppression is allowing anybody that wants to be able to vote by mail.
100 companies are responsible for 71% of the greenhouse gas emissions since 1988. Governments have the power to keep these international corporations in check, the power to shut the door on the alarming predictions of climate scientists.
The top 15 U.S. food and beverage companies emit more greenhouse gases than the entire country of Australia, the world's 15th largest source of these emissions. So back to our question.
What can you do about climate change?
The answer lies in the voting booth because, well, that's where you have the biggest say in these big picture decisions. The policies made today, in this election, in this year, will determine your future and the futures of many other young people, whether it be in your hometown or across the globe. You can protect your future by voting for people who will hold large corporations accountable and help us develop a more sustainable way of life. Vote to care for your fellow humans.
Patricia, we know that these are extremely tough times for so many in the world, and some of the folks hit the hardest are artists, people trying to make a career in the arts. So, in addition to the videos that you're seeing, we feel it's very important to bring you some young, talented artists from the worlds of dance, music, and spoken word. Let me introduce you to Rujay Ballard, a poet and performance artist from Philadelphia.
Look, I am not your enemy. You cannot get rid of me. We need to work together like the legs on a centipede. Trying to help my people, not be trending on the Twitter feed. I'm asking you like pretty please, but I don't need your pity, please. Care about the earth. I be trippy off the purple trees, hurting me. I be out here grinding like a honeybee. Hercules, name someone as strong as me. Everybody robots and I got a different code in me. Sturdy like the concrete, so ain't nobody folding me. Had to stand my ground, so I let go of the older me. I don't like the frown, so I hit him with the shoulder lean. Only cry alone, I got used to no one holding me. Fit with all this anger and this pain, I stopped holding peace. Then I got to know the streets, started making noise everywhere, and now they notice me. I think this song will cry if I did it on a slower beat. Claiming good love, but can you sing it just like Jodeci?
Thank you, Rujay Ballard. That was amazing. But I think it's time now for us to start giving out some awards, beginning with the People's Choice Award for Social Media. Our winner with a prize of $500 is Karen Menon for Voter Suppression America Frat Edition. I loved it.
Hey, what's up, bro? Yo. I'm here for the Rager. Can I see some ID? Yeah, for sure. Oh, we actually changed the rules. You need a government photo ID now. Oh, I don't really have one of those. 11% of Americans don't.
It takes like money and time to get the documents together and like...
Oh yeah, we know. Our parties actually tend to do better when less poor people show up.
Oh, well, I should be on the list.
Oh yeah, we also just took you off the list.
Wait, why?
We were going through the list, to get rid of people who might have died or moved away. And then we just got rid of hundreds of thousands of other people who did nothing. Mostly minorities, and then we just didn't fix it.
Why would anyone support...
Fraud, yeah, rampant fraud.
How often does...
Fraud?
Yeah, how often does in-person fraud happen?
In the past 20 years, 31,000? No, just 31 times. Out of 1 billion.
Okay, so that's not even close.
Yeah, but fraud.
Congratulations, Karen. You won $500, and you are the #1 People's Choice Award for this. I thought it was hilarious, I think, and really strong, actually, a really strong message. So you have to tell me what inspired you to do this.
Yeah, so I was doing comedy for a few years outside of like in college and like sketch comedy, stand up and stuff like that. And then obviously when quarantine happened, we all got sent home, and then that was like, okay, that's like the end of like all of these live performances. What am I gonna do now? So I started making like these videos, like kind of like a FaceTime format where like I was on a call with myself on the other end because I was playing both. I had like nobody to make these with. I found like kind of niche there of being able to like explain ridiculous like doctrines, legal doctrines, issues like of injustice that might be hard to like grasp initially. I think like everybody can grasp these. It takes a little bit of research, and like people don't have like long attention spans, especially people my age. So using TikTok as like a tool to like break down more complex issues for like a Gen Z audience. That's kind of where like I found my niche, and then voter suppression was one of the issues that came up with this one. And it was another thing that I felt really strongly about, and I felt like I had to break it down in a way that people could understand. So I used like frat boys as like an analogy for that. And yeah, the same thing like voter ID, but ID to get into a party, and then it kind of went off from there.
Oh, it was hilarious. I mean, really funny and so strong. I mean, it says all the right things. You really get the point across, the absurdity of what people need and how impossible it is to meet these standards for a lot of people. So it's really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We move now to the People's Choice Award winner for documentaries. And that winner, with a grand prize of $1,000, is Marley Adams for Without a Home.
Well, I think we all have this imagination or this picture that the homeless person is that drunk guy lying on the sidewalk with a bottle of Jack Daniels next to him, or the guy who's standing there on the street corner with his hands out. But that's not the true picture of homelessness. Homelessness oftentimes people you don't even see.
They don't know what it feels like to have to sleep on the street. And you got some homeless people that don't care, that don't want to do nothing for themselves. So they got everybody thinking that all homeless people are like that. And we're not. You got people like me that want to try and want to work, want to do something for themselves. But you got people that have messed it up for everybody else, and they don't want to help nobody because they see other homeless people messing it up.
Most people are blinded by superficiality
and don't appreciate the seemingly little things such as showering, having electricity, or having a home to go to whenever you want or need, with a refrigerator filled with food. There are stores with a surplus of goods where you buy so much more than you could possibly need. Their large range of options seem normal to most, but not to the everyday homeless person.
I've had to resort in doing things for money that I didn't want to be able to eat.
I spoke to Courtney, a 37-year-old woman who has been homeless since she was 17 years old, and Joseph, a 59-year-old man who was homeless for 10 years but now has housing. I asked them what the hardest part about homelessness was.
Sleeping out here, wanting to be able to be in a comfortable bed, be able to take a real shower instead of having to wash in a water fountain, or have to wash your clothes out in a water fountain, and have to put them on wet because you don't have nowhere to dry your clothes.
Sleeping on the ground, and then when you get wet in the rain, you got nowhere to go. The hopelessness of that feeling so hopeless out on the ground, rain, got nowhere to go. That's the worst part for me.
And I just want that one chance to say, I did it. I feel good and I did it for myself, not for somebody else.
We approached this woman who had been living on the side of a busy road for days. She was petrified of us, even as we gave her food and water. This goes to show just how traumatic life is as a homeless person. Then, I spoke to Perry Cannon, a pastor that works for Hope South Florida, an organization that helps homeless in any way they can by giving them meals, helping them with housing, offering showers if needed, and giving them donated clothes and other personal items.
And so I'm the one who orchestrates all the different shared meals with our faith-based community. And we do that, every day of the week, up to 10 meals a week. And then I also oversee our mobile showers, which we provide, now 7 days a week. And we're doing almost 1,300 mobile showers each month. So quite a need right now, especially with COVID. I think people got to change their perception first on what homelessness is and what causes it. You know what I'm saying? You have to, it's not so much changing them as it's changing how we look at them. All of us collectively. What can, and I think COVID, believe it or not, I think COVID came almost at the right time because now the field is level. Now all of a sudden, you have people that unfortunately have come across, things that were out of their control, financial, loss of jobs. And so all of a sudden they look at a person who's been homeless and say, oh my gosh, I could very well be that person. And so I think that changes the way people think about each other. I think that changes your heart. It's just how quickly something can happen. And so to answer that question again, it's how the public the perception of homelessness and how quickly it can happen to all of us. We're all, not all of us, but many of us are like a paycheck away. So, and social distancing, the homeless, they do that all their lives.
So many will pass by a homeless person on their way to home or work and not only dismiss them, but forget about them and move on to go about their normal lives, not thinking about the millions who don't have the same privileges. If you take the time to sit down, talk to a homeless person, and actually listen to their story, you may have a new appreciation for what you have and a new understanding of homelessness. You will come to realize that they are just like us, human beings.
Don't judge homelessness by what you see, it's what you don't see. It's what you don't see.
Marley Adams, congratulations! You are the People's Choice Award winner for documentary, which means you're walking away with a cash prize of $1,000. How do you feel about that?
I'm really excited, and I'm honestly proud of myself for doing that.
Absolutely, you deserve to be proud. Your film tackled some very serious issues about homelessness. What inspired you to tackle this subject?
I saw a video on Instagram about this guy who was pouring a drink onto a homeless person while the homeless person was crying and screaming for him to stop, and the guy was just laughing. And that's not the first video of homeless abuse that I've seen. And I wanted to raise awareness and show that homeless people are actually individuals who are deserving of acceptance and love.
Why do you think that film is a good medium to raise awareness about fighting homelessness?
Well, with film, people can actually see. And so when I was interviewing the woman Courtney, people were able to see her emotions and her crying and her reactions to telling her story, which can make it more real for people.
Well, thank you so much. I'm proud of you and loved your film. So congratulations again for being the People's Choice Award winner in the documentary category.
Thank you.
It's time now for our second performance segment, and this one is from the world of dance. Emily Chamberlain is a dancer and choreographer based in Los Angeles. She has worked alongside several top choreographers in multiple genres of dance. And she also leads her own group, the Flora Productions and Dance Company. So please, welcome Emily Chamberlain and dancers.
Don't take too long to fill in your choice. Won't take too much to raise up your voice. Let's be so loud they hear what we say. Oh, let's dance so proud their walls start to break. Oh, 1, 2, 3, dance with me. We have a right. B-O-T-E is how we stand up and fight. We can't pretend our worlds are the same. Take by the hand the things we must change. You can reshape your fate. It's not too late. Be you, be strange. You shape the change.
Thank you, Emily Chamberlain, which was beautiful. I want to take a moment here to talk about our friends Catherine and Dominique and their Civic Life Project. They are award-winning filmmakers with a long list of credits in documentaries and performing arts programs. About 10 years ago, they created the Civic Life Project to apply their skills to the field of education, giving young people the tools they need to pursue their dreams and become productive citizens. I am so impressed what they've done with this group. I've watched it grow, and I'm so impressed with the talent that we've seen tonight and I've seen over the years. But all of this takes money. So if you can, and if you're enjoying this program tonight, if you're enjoying what you're seeing and hearing, we encourage you to give them some financial support. Please donate, and here's how. Go to the webpage on your screen or text DONATE to 860-799-4065. 860-799-4065. Please be generous. This is an extraordinary project, and you've seen the extraordinary results.
Moving on now to our second prize winners in each of our categories. In the social media group, our second prize winner for a grand prize of $1,000 is Kira Siponzis.
I am lost.
I wanted to say congratulations because your film has been awarded the second prize winner in the social media group, which means that you're walking away with a prize of $1,000.
Really? Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Thank you so much. This is such an amazing opportunity.
Yes, thank you. Your film touched a lot of people and had a great message of inspiring people to vote. So I would like to know why voting is important to you and why you chose to focus on this topic in this film.
Well, I just know that in America it's really important to we have this right of voting, and I just wanted everyone to get out and vote because it's so important, and there's so many problems, and it really there needs to be change, and we need powerful leaders. We need someone who's gonna really help us, who's gonna look to the people and help us, and not just the higher up people. And it's just really important to me to let everyone's voice be heard, and sometimes it's really complicated getting to a voting station or being able to actually vote. So I just wanted to let everyone know, your voice matters. One person can make the difference,
How do you think that young people specifically can really get to understand that their voice matters, that one voice matters?
It's just really important because I feel like our generation is just going to change a lot, and there's so many social media platforms now where one person can gain a huge following, and they can show millions of people what it means to have a voice. So I think one person now in 2020 with Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all these social media platforms, there's so many ways to spread your voice. And even though you're just one person, you could spread your message to millions of people.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that young people like you are passionate about this issue and you're using your talent to spread good in the world. So thank you so much.
It's amazing. I love the way you use your music and the images and put them together. It really was actually very moving. It's a terrific piece.
Absolutely. So I'm proud and congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Moving on now to our second prize winner in the documentary category. Our winners for prize of $2,000 are Ava and Mia Lazar for Burning Bridges, the Mountain Valley Pipeline.
Let me tell you a story. It's a story about need, about community, about power. It's a story about the wonders of modern technology and their consequences. This is the story of the Mountain Valley Pipeline, a 303-mile-long natural gas pipeline that is being installed in the Appalachian Mountains of Virginia and West Virginia.
In the late 20th century, natural gas became cheaper and more accessible because of a process called fracking. Today, natural gas is the #1 source of electricity generation in the United States.
Instead of relying on road or rail, compressed natural gas can be transported passively through pipelines. Many leaders and politicians have dubbed natural gas as a bridge fuel that would lead the nation to renewable resources.
I think the natural gas boom is good. It's an important bridge fuel. The CO2 emissions for gas are half what they are for coal.
However, natural gas's role as a bridge fuel doesn't come without problems. When burned, natural gas releases methane, nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, and other toxic chemicals into the air. Fracking can pollute groundwater and cause earthquakes. Additionally, a pipeline's construction requires sacrifices from the landowners along its path.
My farm was flourishing, doing good, doing well, and then the pipeline come along and started moving trees around, and all my fish had big fish kills, all my fish died. Had big bullfrogs in there we used to go eat, and they all died. You know, a lot of folks here had to work hard all their lives to get what they got and just to put food on their tables. And then pipeline comes along and says, we'll give you half of what your property's worth or we'll just take it from you.
Eminent domain is the government's right to take private land for public use. In 2005, the U.S. Supreme Court case Kelo versus City of New London clarified that private companies, not just the government, can assert eminent domain if their projects are necessary and will economically benefit the region.
The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC, decides whether each pipeline should be approved to use eminent domain. In the past 2 decades, FERC has reviewed more than 470 pipelines. Of these, they have only rejected 2.
It should not take 10 years to get
the permits to build a road or a pipeline. We've brought that number way, way down.
It's highly regulated. I can't think of anything that is more highly regulated. And now the agencies that do their studies are being questioned. So it's like it's an upside-down bizarro world type situation.
In October of 2017, FERC approved the Mountain Valley Pipeline by awarding them a certificate of public necessity and convenience.
The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, in deciding whether the pipeline was a matter of public convenience and necessity, took into consideration the fact that the people who are fracking the gas had contracts to sell the gas. Those contracts were with their own subsidiaries. So they were saying, yes, the gas is necessary because we have buyers for it, and the buyers are us.
The vast majority of the natural gas from the pipeline will not fuel Appalachia. Along the pipeline's path, there have been many protests and tree sits to attempt to halt pipeline work. 2 of these tree sits are located on a forested slope in Montgomery County, Virginia.
What I would like to see accomplished is for this pipeline to not be completed, and failing that, to just slow it down and make it as expensive as possible. And I think we've done a decent job of that.
The activists have been on site and in the trees for over 500 days.
Scientists and residents are concerned about the Mountain Valley Pipeline in particular because of the region's steep slopes, caves, sinkholes, and underground water flow.
So we have the seismic zone, we have steep slopes, and then we have the groundwater issues, all in one place here, in this part of the route. And the potential is there to have a catastrophe. I mean, we've had catastrophes in less severe land than this with natural gas pipelines around the United States.
Since 1986, pipeline accidents in the United States have killed 500 people and injured 4,000 more. Federal courts have ruled that the Mountain Valley Pipeline was approved without considering all of the environmental impacts, and FERC ordered a halt on work on the pipeline in October of 2019. Many pipeline workers go without jobs when the project is on hold.
This is what they've done their whole life, a lot of my folks, and this is all they know. And the fact that they're sitting on the bench not working, it's not right what's going on.
Mountain Valley Pipeline, LLC, argues that the pipeline will be beneficial for the Appalachian economy because it provides thousands of jobs. However, the project states that after the construction of the pipeline, it will only provide 34 jobs.
Again, we cannot continue to burn fossil fuels and have a habitable planet. We have a decision to make. So the idea that renewable energy production means fewer jobs, to me it means more years of jobs.
In the 2020 election, we hope presidential candidates will rethink our energy policy to accelerate our transition to renewable energy sources. We believe energy policy should include generous job retraining programs for fossil fuel workers as we shift towards renewables.
We hope that approval for all new energy projects will be conducted in a fair, scientific, and unbiased way that will consider the impacts of each project on climate change.
You can support causes you believe in by making one simple choice: to vote.
Today's decisions about the future of energy in the United States will help determine the future of America and the world.
Welcome, Mia and Ava. Your documentary, Burning Bridges, the Mountain Valley Pipeline, has won the second place award for the documentary category, meaning that you won a grand prize of $2,000. Congratulations.
Thank you. Wow, thank you.
What inspired you both to work together as sisters to tell the story of the Mountain Valley Pipeline?
Well, we work pretty well together as a team. Ava and I both like different parts of documentary filmmaking. And so she likes to do the interviews and I like to do the editing, and we kind of mix and match. It's a lot of fun. And we decided to do the Mountain Valley Pipeline because it's one of the biggest issues in our community, our local community. This topic is important to us because it's very close to our hometown. We know people who have owned farms for generations, and their farms are now being destroyed because of the Mountain Valley Pipeline.
I would love to know, Ava, why are you inspired to make documentary films?
So I'm 16 years old. I can't vote yet. And I feel like the way I can make a difference is by making films.
So my goal is to make films to inspire other people to vote, make films to inspire other people to act on issues they care about. And I can act on issues I care about too, but I can't vote yet, and that voting really makes a difference.
What about you, Mia? Why documentary film? Why is this an important medium for you and for the world?
For me, I think I found my voice through documentary filmmaking. And so I started when I was 11 years old. It was really terrible, but like taking shaky films on my video, like on a phone. And I think I found out that I loved it, and I feel like it's a really good way to be able to address different perspectives and share with the world complex issues that maybe people didn't realize were as complex when they started watching the film.
You both did just an amazing job in the finish of this film. Every bit of it felt very something like out of PBS.
Absolutely.
Terrific.
I'm excited to see the work you make in the future too. So keep making films.
You've heard us mention our partner Justice Aid based in Washington, D.C. We are very proud to be partnering with them tonight, and we salute them and the contenders for their prizes.
Hello, I'm Natalie Jowett on behalf of Justice Aid. Justice Aid is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization that engages through art and music to fight injustice. In 2020, while our focus has been voter suppression and voter empowerment, it's been an honor to partner with Civic Life Project on this year's film challenge. In addition to the awards being given by Civic Life Project this year, Justice Aid has created an additional set of prizes to be awarded in both categories. And tonight, I'd like to announce the finalists for the Justice Aid prizes. In the category of documentary, the Justice Aid finalists are Democracy Must Be Learned, directed by Lintaro Donovan and Young Bin Lee. The Cost of Freedom, directed by Jacob Lamb, Shania Brown, and Ram Kosman. The Real Power Belongs to the People, directed by Oriana Kamara. And in the category of social media, the Justice Aid Prize finalists are You Need to Vote by Amog Thakar, Your Voice Matters, Vote by Kira Saponsis, and Volunteer, created by Jeff Wright. Please join us on September 17th at 7 p.m. for the Justice Aid Film Forum. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and we'll be screening all the finalists' entries, meeting the directors in interactive panels, and awarding the Justice Aid prizes. Congratulations to all of tonight's award winners. Your engagement makes a difference.
Thank you so much, Justice Aid, and congratulations again to their nominees. It's time now for our final performance segment tonight. Doug Locke is a young actor and musician from Houston, now based in Los Angeles. He already has a long list of film and TV credits. He is also a recording artist, and tonight he is singing an original song. Please say hello to Doug Locke.
Why? Why? A red cap, a white hood, a black man, it's dangerous. His hand in my hand, the homeland, freedom, love. Never thought it'd go down like this, never thought it'd go down like this. Epithets from presidents, it's my brother's fault with no justice. Thought I might be free someday, was Martin wrong? Never thought I'd mourn this way, from Trayvon to Big Floyd and on. Why? Why do you hate me so much? Why do you hate me so much? The hated the same. We all in this cycle of pain. If I wanna give you my love, why do you hate me so much? If I love you, if I love you, if I wanna give you my love, why do you hate me so much? I remember that talk that my dad gave to me. Gotta work twice as hard, be twice as good to get half of it. Never thought I'd still be like this, never thought I'd grow up so quick, so quick. Hands up, cause I still can't breathe, another bullet, another siren, but they can't break me. Why do you hate me so much? Why do you hate me so much? I'm just a victim of fate, 'cause I was just born this way. If I wanna give you my love, if I love you, if I love you, if I wanna give you my love, why do you hate me so much? Why? 49 Southerners for 49 sons and daughters, losing they post in a moment, watching love turn to numbers.
Thank you, Doug Locke. That was fabulous, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
And now, as people say in these things, the moment we've all been waiting for, our grand prize winners in this challenge. First, in our social media category, the grand prize of $2,500 goes to Amog Thakkar for You Need to Vote.
We're all passionate about that something, an issue that we hold deep in our hearts. For me, it's immigration.
For me, it's racism.
Women's rights.
Abortion. Science denial.
Mass incarceration.
Police reform. For me, it's climate change. But the thing is, politicians aren't listening to the youth. Nothing large is being done.
No one cares.
And it's honestly kind of our fault.
But you can change that, and here's how.
Vote.
Don't believe us? Here's why.
Politicians, the people who have the power to make foundational political changes, fundamentally chase after votes.
But the youth aren't voting, so politicians don't really care about what we think.
Much less actually acting on what we care about. They cater to the voting population. And the youth, those aged 18 to 29,
have consistently had the lowest voter turnout. And in fact, fewer than 1 in 5 young people cast ballots on Super Tuesday.
Now, the youth don't vote for a variety of reasons. One being that politicians don't really reach out or engage us. Again, because we don't vote.
It's an endless cycle of misrepresentation.
The voting system is systematically against us. We aren't well educated in civics, and it's socially acceptable,
almost encouraged for the youth not to vote, even though we're the most educated generation.
It's not like we're lazy. In fact, we have been the leaders in some of the biggest political movements.
Like the LGBTQ movement,
the environmental fight,
and most recently, the Black Lives Matter movement.
We fight strong and hard for the injustices, but we aren't getting the political results we need.
Even if you're not passionate in activism, you need to vote.
We all promise your one youth vote will have a massive impact. I will vote.
I will vote.
When I can vote,
I will vote.
And you should too.
To start the voting process, go to vote.gov and pick your state and territory.
Remember, if you want change, you need to vote.
Well, it is my pleasure to announce in first place in our social media category, the grand prize of $2,500 goes to Amog Thakkar for You Need to Vote. Congratulations! Congratulations, Amog. How do you feel about that?
I feel amazing. I mean, I think we all put in a lot of work, especially me, because I edited it, but everybody else, you know, in the group, people who were, you know, actually appeared in the video, they all did an amazing job. Everything kind of just came together at the end. There was definitely a lot of kind of problems that we had, but we as a team finally came together, and I think we really put out a really good video that we will definitely share. And hopefully, even if we convert one person who would not have voted to actually vote, the entire video will be worth it. So we are really excited to, first of all, make that video and also win a prize from it.
Well,
so thank you guys.
It was so well done, and it was so amazing. So what inspired you to tackle the issue of voting?
Well, so I am 17, so I actually can't vote yet, which really sucks. I was very much looking forward to it. But I have a nonprofit. I direct a nonprofit called the Youth Project, and we tackle these exact issues. We raise awareness for the youth in different ways. Our motto is for the youth, by the youth. So we do a variety of different activities and projects that go along the same lines of what you guys are doing. So, for example, we do everything from building schools in India to encouraging people to vote, like this video.
Well,
that
quite
was
impressive.
a big driving force behind actually making this video.
It's a perfect time for you to finish this thing. I hope you can get it up on the air in time to help people for the election to come, because it's a very powerful message, beautiful graphics, professionally done. You really did a great job. Congratulations, Amog.
Yeah, and it's lovely to hear people really engaging the youth, because there's so much that young people have to say and so much that young people can contribute to this world, and I'm glad that you are doing just that.
Thank you. Thank you guys for hosting this and putting this entire competition on. I'm pretty sure it's made a big impact across like a bunch of different countries who are watching it, I guess.
We are now at the point of announcing our grand prize winner in our documentary category. I'm pleased to announce that the prize of $5,000 is Oriana Kamara for her film Yasuni National Park.
Bueno, el bosque para mí es como mi casa. ¿Sí? El bosque a mí me ha dado muchas cosas. Me ha dado medicina, me ha dado salud, me ha dado vivienda, me ha dado sobre todo alimentación, ¿no? Porque si no hubiera el bosque, creo que no tendría la experiencia que tengo ahora. ¿Sí? Entonces, por medio del bosque he aprendido muchas cosas, sobre todo a sobrevivir. ¿Sí? Entonces, en caso de que yo esté perdido, puedo tranquilamente sobrevivir, alimentarme de las plantas o de las frutas que yo conozco, ¿no? Entonces, por eso digo que es mi hogar, es mi casa. ¿Sí?
So feel it, no? It's not dirt, it's crude, solidified crude, no? This is very fine. Yeah.
After a 10-hour debate, Ecuador's parliament approved drilling for oil here. President Rafael Correa had planned for rich nations to pay to avoid the need for such exploration, but failed to raise enough money.
Con profunda tristeza, pero también con absoluta responsabilidad con nuestro pueblo y con la historia, he tenido que tomar una de las decisiones más difíciles de todo mi gobierno. El día de hoy he firmado el decreto ejecutivo para la liquidación de los fideicomisos Yasuní y Teté y con ello poner fin a la iniciativa.
Queremos petróleo, queremos el Yasuní, queremos la muerte, queremos la vida, y no nos queda más este rato que decir resistencia o muerte, y el pueblo apuesta por la resistencia.
This land, this territory, belong to the Quichuas communities that they were living from here from millennia, no? So the government ignored those kind of rights over the territories of the ancient people, no? And just gave in concessions, not just to the oil companies, but also to these big farming companies, as Palmar del Río and Palmeras del Ecuador. So what happened with these communities? They were just kicked out from their territories. They they displaced from this place to another, no? And the main problem is of acculturation and deculturation start deriving from the absence of territory.
Bueno, lo que yo veo ahora, yo creo que los presidentes de turno, hoy en día, más que todo el presidente de ahora, para mí es una pura mentira. Sí. Él dice que supuestamente que se va a proteger, pero no es verdad, porque ya están explotando los pozos del ITT dentro del Parque Nacional Yasuní, ¿no? Entonces, yo pienso que esto es una manera de engañar al pueblo o a la gente, diciendo que vamos a proteger. En realidad no lo estamos haciendo. Y esto con el tiempo, como ya le dije anteriormente, con el tiempo no sé en qué irá a parar el Parque Nacional Yasuní, ¿no? Si seguimos explotando el petróleo que existe dentro del Parque Nacional Yasuní, ¿no? Al entrar las compañías petroleras, abren carreteras. Ese es uno de los graves problemas, ¿no? Entonces, al abrir carreteras, ingresan mucha gente, incrementa la contaminación, se extienden las especies que existen aquí en el bosque, ¿no?
My name is Greta Thunberg. I am 15 years old and I'm from Sweden. I speak on behalf of climate justice now. We cannot solve a crisis without treating it as a crisis. We need to keep the fossil fuels in the ground and we need to focus on equity. And if solutions within this system are so impossible to find, then maybe we should change the system itself. We have not come here to beg world leaders to care. You have ignored us in the past and you will ignore us again. You have run out of excuses and we are running out of time. We have come here to let you know that change is coming, whether you like it or not. The real power belongs to the people.
I absolutely loved your film, and I'm so happy to announce that you have won the grand prize award of $5,000 for your documentary, Yasuni National Park. The real power belongs to the people. Congratulations!
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting that news in the slightest. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. It's such an accomplishment. We've had so many submissions, and I'm just so happy that your work has touched and inspired people to this extent. So I'm wondering, what inspired you to tell this story, and why do you think it's an important topic to address?
Sure. So what inspired me to tell this story was truly the man who was interviewed in the film. His name is Froylan, and he is a guide for Yasuni National Park, specifically the Tiputini Biodiversity Station. And he dedicates his life to kind of just showing any visitor who happens to come by his home, and in a way that is so peaceful and so true to what the grounds that he walks on are, and just showing them truly the beauty of the area. And sadly, the piece that comes with it is what's currently happening. So to me, it was so important to help tell his story, but then also that of thousands of other people who are being affected, and the indigenous communities that sometimes, due to governments and laws and the suspension of funds, do not have the chance to be able to protect the place that they call home. So to me, that's what really inspired the entire film, and I'm very grateful to have been able to help tell that story and hopefully create some change.
I have to say the visuals were so stunning and made it even more inspiring and important to protect this national park. And I'm wondering how you got involved in documentary and why you think this is an important medium to tell stories of activism and education like yours did.
So to me, the power in documentary is really in its ability to share stories and to connect with individuals that maybe you otherwise would not necessarily come by in just your day-to-day life. So it's a very important medium to me, and I am just so fortunate to even be able to call myself a documentarian.
That's amazing.
Well, you are a documentarian, and you're a good one. It was really, really emotionally moving, this film.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ariana.
And thank you, Civic Life, for really just empowering youth and individuals in general to vote, to share their stories, their opinions, and really just promote change.
And so we've reached the end of this Democracy 2020 Youth Film Challenge. I have been so impressed, haven't you? It's been amazing. And I hope you are as well. I want to thank the Civic Life Project for producing this wonderful event. And I also want to thank their board, their advisors and sponsors, and to all the people who've made this show possible, to Anatola too. But I'm going to ask you again, we need your help. The Civic Life Project needs your help. These young filmmakers need your help. They are bringing up issues that are so important to us. They are learning life skills. They are learning how to use their voice, and they're telling others out there how important it is to be a good citizen and engaged. So please give, and give generously.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Thank you for the absolutely talented young performers who have joined us tonight. And please support the creative artists where you live, here and on the internet. And please, one last time, register to vote and make your vote count. You can change your community. You can change your world. You can learn more at vote.org. Your world depends on it. And we really hope that everyone comes back to us for our next challenge in the next national election year.
Congratulations to everyone tonight, and thank you again to all of you.